in Kings 1, chapter 4. It says the pasuk, Yehi Melech Shlomo Melech HaKol Yisrael. King Shlomo was the king over Israel. And he had a bunch of ministers, a lot of ministers actually. And the pasuk actually mentions them. So you have Ele Sarim, Asher Lo, Azrael ben Tzadok, Elichoref ve'Achia b'nei Shisha, Yehoshaphat ben Achilod, Benayahu ben Yehoyada, Tzadok ve'Abiatar, Azariah ben Natan, Zavud ben Natan, Achishar Abayid, Adoniram. Okay, so he has all these people over. He was over the taxes. He was the army. He's the Cohen. He's the secretary. He's the commissioner. He's the senior minister and whatnot. Then the Torah tells us, Shlomo Shnei Masar Nitzavim and Kol Yisrael Chilkelu et Melech Beito Chodesh B'Shana Yelech Ad Lechalkel. Shlomo had 12 commissioners over Israel who sustained the king and his household. Each one sustained them 1 month out of the year. And these were their names: son of Hur, son of Deker, son of Chesed, son of Inadav, Bana, son of Achilod, and then it goes and mentions all their names. Fine. Now, why do you have these 12 officers? What is the meaning behind this? So really, first of all, Shlomo had as many stories like this, where Hashgacha Pratit happened to him very much. Hashem showed his hand very clearly to Shlomo. So it says that one day Shlomo saw the angel of death. It was sad. Okay, you understand? Shlomo Melech already knew how to talk to animals, and he already knew what the angels and sea angels and demons. And we're going to learn that one day King Ashmedai is going to kick him out and pretend to be him. We're going to deal with that story later. So anyways, Shlomo asked the angel why it's sad. He said that he had been ordered to take the lives of Elichoref and Ichia. These are actually ministers of Shlomo, and he couldn't do it. So he said, so Shlomo heard this, and he got nervous. So he wanted to save Elichoref and Achia. So what did he do? He sent in the town of Luz, because in that time there was a city called Luz. The people it was a secret entrance. You had to go inside the hollow of a tree, and then you would get into there. The Goyim, they had this thing called Narnia. The hidden entrance. You go to this. So it's from the Torah. Listen, all these producers, they got it from the Torah. So then there's this place, city called Luz, secret entrance. The people there are very righteous. They only speak the truth, and nobody died over there. The what's called the angel of death never entered there. Was not able to enter there. If the Midrash says if anybody wanted to die, they would just walk out of the city, and then the Melachim would be able to take them. So Shlomo wanted to save these two guys, so he sent them to Luz. But when they reached the city of Luz, they died before they entered the city. So the following day, Shlomo saw the angel of death. He was happy. He says, "Why are you happy?" He says, "Because you sent them to the very place that I was instructed to kill them. Wow. You helped me get them there. I thought to myself, how am I going to get there? I'm only allowed to kill them right there. How am I going to get them all the way there? And look how you set it up for me. You made them go right by the gate. So then Shlomo said, you see, a person's feet are as guarantors. They lead a person where Hashem wants him to be. So the sage is telling us the same thing happened with Shlomo with when somebody said, how do I see Hashem's hands? So he told him, the sages tell us, you see Hashem's hand in Parnassah, how miracles Hashem makes in Parnassah. I don't know where you get this job. I don't know where you get this Parnassah. And also by Shidduchim. So he wanted to prove to someone by Shidduchim. What did he do? He took a girl from a village, and he he put her in a tower on some island where it's impossible to reach. Nobody would find her. And he said, watch how Hashem is going to mezavek zivugim. So there was a soldier, Jewish soldier. He got separated from his unit, and he was lost in the desert, lost in the wilderness. So it was cold, he was tired, he was so hungry, he didn't know where to stay. He found a carcass of an animal, a big animal, hollowed already, its inside was open. He went inside, he crawled inside, and he used to go like a shelter over there and sleep over there. He fell asleep one day over there. A big bird came and picked up this carcass and flew and dropped him by this island. dropped him by this island. He sees a big tower. He gets out of the animal. He sees the big tower. He goes and he knocks on the door and he gets to the top and he meets this girl over there. They speak. They live together. Survive. They become husband and wife. Shlomo Melech says, "Let's go see how Hashem is bezevik zivugim." He showed this person who didn't believe, and he said, "Look, he came to the tower and he sees the woman, the husband. They already have a baby." So he said, "You see how even if she's in the island, she's gonna think, where are we gonna find this zivug? From where? And look how Hashem brought the zivug together, right? Hashem is bezevik zivugim." So the person doesn't realize how you think maybe. You say, like Shlomo said, how am I going to save them? Or the angel of death said, how am I going to do it? Look, Hashem has many ways. Okay, so why did he do 12 officers? The Pasuk says that King Shlomo had 12 officers to collect taxes from the Jewish people. Each one of them would provide food for the king and his household. So therefore, they used to take what's it called? Take turns. But the Pasuk says in Pasuk 19, it says Gever, son of Uri, in the land of Gilad, land of Sichon, and one main commissioner was over the entire land. So which one is it? There was one commissioner, or there was 12? So some say that the single officer was in charge of the 12, and some say there was a 13th because sometimes you have Adar Sheni. You have 2 months of Adar, so you need a 13th one. Now you should know that the word Netziv is the word for officer over here, but since there was one for each month, the term Netziv can also mean a month. So Netziv also refers to a month. During the period of anti-Semitic persecution, Shema, the Gemara says, the sages would code their messages, so they didn't want to know how to declare the leap year or not. So when they wanted to send out a message, they didn't want the authorities to know. They used to say they had to appoint an extra Netziv. When they would say appoint an extra Netziv, that means that they were making an extra month. Okay, chapter 5 is about to be here. The Torah goes out of its way to tell us that Yehuda and Israel were numerous like the sand that is by the sea, eating, drinking, and rejoicing. When Shlomo was king, it was a good time to be a Jew. They were prosperous. Everybody's wealthy. Everybody's eating, drinking, rejoicing. Everyone's having a good life. Fine. So now, Perek Hey, what does it say? It says like this. Shlomo ruled over the kingdoms from the Euphrates to the land of Plishtim, to the border of Egypt. They brought tributes and served Shlomo all days of his life. Shlomo's provisions for one day. Look how powerful and how wealthy Shlomo is. 30 kor of flour, 60 fine flour, 60 kor of regular flour. 10 oxen a day. You ever ate 10 oxen in one day? 20 oxen from the pasture, 100 sheep and goats, gazelle, deer, yachmur, fat and fowl. What is this? So the Gemara Metzia says, our passage describes how large the daily royal banquet of Shlomo was. But the meal was actually bigger because the flour here was only for the dough the cooks used to cover the pots. And the cattle, I think in Turkey they serve a dish like this, where there's meat and potatoes, but it has a dough, and you have to cut the dough. You have to cut the dough to get the stuff inside. The cattle and the sheep were only for one dish known as tzikeh kedera, a meat seasoned with spices. Additionally, each of Shlomo's 1,000 wives prepared a meal like this every day, because each one wanted to be prepared in case they decided to eat with her each that day. You understand? So you see, there's 1,000 wives making this kind of meal. And this is a crazy meal. It's a crazy daily banquet. You understand?
It's 3 wives a day. For the whole year, 3 wives.
It's not overindulgence.
Oh, you made a calculation.
Abraham,
Abraham, you made a calculation like this. Like this, you made a calculation. You're a good businessman. Shachrit mincha arvit. Wow. Chidushim already, you say. What? What? Who?
Once you're there,
What? Oh, you're stuck with Shlomo once you marry him.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. You can't marry anyone else though.
Right, but she can't live in the jail, so why would she do it there? When he decides.
No, why? She wants to be the King Shlomo's wife. Who would not want to be King Shlomo's wife?
What do you do with your life?
You have all the amenities in the world. Yes, it's hard to get his attention, but the halacha is that we read this week's parasha. that if you take another wife, you cannot take away from her support and from her time. He owed time to all of them. He spent time with all of them, and if he did it, he's considered a rebellious husband. He's considered not following halacha. Shlomo would never not follow halacha. Of course, he would follow halacha.
How many kids he had?
He probably had a lot, but I don't know if every wife he had kids with. But I know he would definitely fulfill his obligation as a husband. That for sure.
It's not overindulgence?
Oh, so that's a good question. So listen, it's not so easy, right?
Why don't we read the story in the beginning?
Again. So Shlomo, for example, Shlomo married Bat Paro. We learned earlier. Then Shlomo used to bring 1,000 korbanot, right? He brought 1,000 korbanot that day to the Beit HaMikdash, to the altar, and Shlomo, did a lot of grandeur things. The commentaries say that he was busy with doing tikkunim. Yeah, he understood there's certain impurities, and that in order to accomplish and to get to the level of the Beit HaMikdash that he needed to build, he needed to do these tikkunim. Again, are we on this level? Are we as wise as him to be able to do that? No. If a person, you have to fulfill what the Rasul Salanta said. Do you eat for to bless, or you bless for to eat? So that's the question over here. Definitely, Shlomo HaMelech, he ate for to bless. He didn't bless for to eat. So therefore, if we're on that level, then we can start understanding. But if we're still on the level of we bless in order just to eat, our goal is to eat. So yeah, definitely, this is overindulgence. This is not appropriate whatsoever. But since he was doing it for tikkunim, he was doing it for a spiritual purpose, so then he'll be okay.
Every time you would say Lishim Yehud?
I'm sure.
I heard that he wanted to bring all the nations together.
Yes.
Because he was now each time in their room became an ally.
Right.
So basically.
So maybe you could say this grandeur and this power that he's showing with all these banquets, that also would help that agenda as well. You could say. Amen. Let's say
For sure, he had a lot of children if he had